You want to know if an election is going to be taken away from us?
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's a possibility.
It is a possibility.
All.
I mean, that's Project 2025.
The things that Donald Trump did with the National Guard in California and now in D.C., what this guy is doing, he's running experiments in different cities where he wants to test it out to say, like, can I get away with this? What would it mean if I were to militarize these soldiers for my own selfish purposes so that I can stay here longer, I can take away your rights, I can remove general election? That's ultimately the goal.
What's up, my salacious sleuths? My name is Ansley. Welcome back to the Boredwalk podcast. Today I'm joined by my friends, Gabe and Tez. Did you miss me? You can't answer. So I left for about a month to do summer camp stuff, and I came back today, and there's so much crazy to talk about. The biggest thing that I think I'm going to talk about is gay marriage could be overturned. Kim Davis, apparently, she was jailed, I think, in 2015 for refusing a same-sex marriage. And then, of course, she was released, and now she started an entire campaign, which has now reached the Supreme Court, basically advocating for the overturn of same-sex marriage, while also being like, yeah, but all the gay marriage that happened before this point, it's still valid. So we would have like a country where some of you could have been legally married, but now you can't. And the reason why, it invalidates the sanctity of her relationship, even though she is a diehard Christian and has been married and divorced twice.
No.
I think this is her third one.
No, four.
Four?
Yeah.
Kim Davis, suck my asshole.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say about that.
All because she was like, I'm not going to make a cake for these gay couples. And then she got her win. She got what she wanted. But now she has to...
not enough.
Now she has to go for all the...
This is
be unhappy somewhere else.
Really upsetting thing. It's like, you know that whites only town they made in like Arkansas or whatever, and everyone's like, great, stay there. It's like, why aren't you more offended that I don't want to work with, I don't want to make a cake for you. I don't want you in my town because we don't want to be around you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, now I'm going to make it everyone's problem.
Right.
Actually, now nobody can be gay. Also, interracial marriage. I've been hearing that's on the line as
well.
well.
Because it's like marriage equality in general is like, this is what it is. It's not gay marriage. It's marriage equality. It's everybody having the same rights.
I mean, when Roe v. Wade was overturned in 2022, when you look at the opinions that were made by the judges or the Supreme Court, one of the things that Clarence Thomas, who, let's just put this out there, is in an interracial marriage with Ginny Thomas, okay, who is a Jan 6 conspiracy nut. She also was in a cult when she was younger. It explains a lot as to why she's a Trumper. But in their opinions, he decided to proactively, basically in saying, well, now that we've overturned Roe v. Wade, like it's kind of more or less opens up the door, and let's talk about the other things that would be on the table. And there's same-sex marriage. Interracial marriage was one that was mentioned. And I'm like, bro, you're in one. Get out. Like, true life get out situation, I look at that like relationship and I'm like, dude is just like glazed over eye in his RV, taking money from Harlan Crow, the billionaire, the dude who's got all like the Mein Kampf, and he's got the statues of those crazy dictators and in his backyard, the one who funds all the right-wing stuff. That was something that Clarence Thomas wrote in 2022, and the idea that it's now coming back as like a possible like, hey, so like should we just like overturn this too?
I literally have been feeling like this presidency is like, what else can we do to ruin their lives? Yep, might as well.
Yeah. That's Project 2025.
Yeah.
Right? It's
I don't
just,
understand
what can we do?
But even this idea of like, we'll do it for the people going forward and not for the people after. It's like you cannot live in a society, and also you can't regulate that kind of thing to be like, well, you guys got this privilege before and you after no longer have it. Like, it just brings up more of an opportunity for people to say, show me your papers.
The belief is that it may make its way to the Supreme Court, but the likelihood of it actually getting overturned is very small.
Yeah.
Do we feel that is the consensus, or should I?
It's not impossible. It's improbable.
I mean, nothing is anymore.
Right. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't think it's not impossible that it will get overturned. I think it's highly unlikely or improbable that it will get overturned. Okay. But even so, when you've got people from these specific communities and groups that are like, yeah, I voted for Trump. And yes, I did that accent, and I don't give a because right now That's a majority of the people that are saying these things online.
The red
or
states
on
that
video.
benefit
Yeah.
from the blue states and all of our progressive nature
But
that
when-
you guys supposedly.
But when you've got these people who are, self-hating, that's what they are, self-hating from those specific groups, whether they're LGBTQ or they're minorities, or BIPOC or whatever, those people were like, yeah, I voted for this. It's like, oh, you voted for it up until the point in which your rights are about to be taken away. Mm-hmm. And then you go, oh, well, how did the Democrats let them do this? It's like, well, you wanted things like redistricting. You want gerrymandering. You want the ability to take away your rights from the voters. And so like this idea that they're like, oh, well, I didn't vote for this. Like, no, you did. You did because, as you said, Project 2025, it was literally laid it out in the book.
Yep. I remember I was talking to someone I was like, yeah, they're trying to overturn like this and this and this, which could mean like literal death sentences for women. And they were like, they wouldn't do that. And now well, you're about to talk about that.
Yeah.
That's a great segue in.
Birth control is, of course, under attack. The big thing that did happen is that the U.S. purchased $9.7 million worth of contraceptions, which were going to be used in low-income countries. So this is like a program that, like, aid that U.S. provides to other countries. And the Trump administration has now sent it to France to be burned. So they're going to burn it all.
The birth control was going to third world countries?
Uh-huh. It's like a program to help. And this is something that has already been paid for by the U.S.
What do you mean?
Because it is
how can France just burn it? Like burn the shipment of birth control or burn the document?
No, the U.S. is taking it to an incineration place.
Yeah, this is
France
just like what they did with
the birth control.
Yeah. This is like what they did recently with like I forget how many, because I don't want to say the actual numerical value, but like the metric tons of food that was supposed to be going
to Gaza,
to different areas, and they were like, yeah, you know what, trash it. It's like, we already paid for it. What? Like, if I was France, I would take those things like, great, I'm going to redistribute those.
France and Belgium are trying to block this from happening.
Yeah.
Or be like, oops, it fell off the back of the truck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where it went, and just like lost it.
We're at a point where obviously America is not a reasonable country anymore. Anyone that was in an allyship with us should seriously reconsider. We're in a fascist dictatorship right now.
Their excuse for why it has to be burned is because they cause abortions.
I will say this. When Roe v. Wade was overturned, I remember personally getting this response from people when I was like, hey, just like the things that are going to be next on the chopping block are going to be contraceptives. It's going to be condoms. It's going to be birth control. It's going to be this. And people were like, stop being so hyperbolic. And I'm like, just because you think that they got this big win doesn't mean like that they're not going to go for something else.
Do you really think they would take condoms, though, since that's the contraceptive that benefit men?
This is another part of this.
I guarantee they're going to go after all of it because...
so 4B movement for sure now.
$2 million worth of condoms housed in a warehouse are in line to be destroyed.
Yeah.
I literally can't understand how people can know these things, like that voted for... I don't know if people, they do lack all critical thinking at this point, but it's very obviously a play. Like, how are you going to... This is going to third world countries where you're like, oh, they don't have anything, and the one thing they could help is like not having kids. So what are they going to do? Take that away? So they remain in poverty, They remain uneducated, they remain like constantly getting STDs, STIs. Like
Pete Hegseth retweeted the Christian nationalist, priest, pastor, whatever, who said that a woman's role is, having children.
Christianity is truly reaching a point of mental illness
and so
psychosis.
Right, and so when you have people who are in a government cabinet position retweeting opinions that are just outright insane from religious leaders that are saying that women's roles are not in the workplace, they're in the home, barefoot, pregnant, making sandwiches, that's, earthen vessels, as Madison Cawthorn has once said. But when you look at this, you have to understand that their whole way of thinking is to remove the possibility of preventing childbirth.
I'm getting an equation. That's what I'm getting.
Do what you got to do now before it's taken away is all I'll say, while you still have the right to, because I'm not saying that as like, again, I'm not being hyperbolic. It's literally
happening.
The things are being burned. They're being destroyed. They're being restricted. They're closing down facilities.
There's no
They're
separation between
defunding.
church and state anymore.
Genuinely, if you are a man and you do not want to have children and you consider yourself a feminist, like, get a vasectomy.
Yeah.
Like, please.
Snip it up,
Please,
tie it up.
Please do
Yeah.
that. It's really not that invasive of a procedure. I know I'm a woman talking about it, but
Yeah.
I know many men who have gotten
My
one.
dad out of his vasectomy
And
appointment.
yeah, exactly. You're gonna be fine. And it would be like a really nice thing for you to do for the women in your life. And women, you know, we're on track to this being even harder and harder and harder to get. So do what you have to do. There are forms of birth control that last years, and so there's multiple types of that.
Get an IUD.
It doesn't have to be an IUD. They have the arm
No, but
implants
those
too.
move, and I hate those. I saw an insertion video one time.
You can ask me to put it. My friend just got an IUD yesterday, and she asked for being sedated, and they sedated her for it.
I didn't know they would
It
do
costs
that.
more money, but
Will they sedate you for an IUD?
Yes, that's what she did. Oh. Yeah, you have to request it though.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
We're living in a world where you've got people like Mike Johnson who are like, we want, you know, Elon Musk, all these people who are like, oh, the birth rate has gone down and you know, women are in the workplace and they're not, you know, considering creating families and all that stuff. And it's like, bro, chill, calm down. You have plenty of children who hate you. Maybe that's a sign of like, maybe you have too many kids.
Also, like, why is it anyone who care? Like, why
Yeah.
do you care that other people aren't having kids?
There are so many moments when I look at the last few years, especially right now, where I keep coming back to George Carlin. And in there, you know, he talks about like, they're only trying to have you make more babies to grow up old enough to be basically serving the military. And that's what it is. Like, you put you from birth into a gun in your hand, and they won't do anything for you, despite being pro-life, and they're advocates for making sure that it's pro-family. Like, even now, it was revealed that they were like, oh yeah, Donald Trump's promise of IVF support, not a real thing.
Shocker.
Crazy. Nobody saw that coming except everyone who has listened to him and the rest of, again, it's like, if you ever read Project 2025 or scanned through it.
Though, because like I'm thinking, like the 4 years ahead of us are going to be really, really bad.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a possibility that we will reach a point in America where there is no need for an election anymore? If you catch my drift. And do you think that could happen before the next election? Like, like realistically, how? I mean, I feel like this is a loaded question, and it's not on our.
You want to know
talking docket
if
for
an
the
election
day.
is going to be taken away from us?
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's a possibility.
It is a possibility.
All.
It is a possibility. That's what's happening in Texas with they're trying to get away with stealing 5 seats, redistricting. That's why the Texas representatives fled the states and they've gone to various different places so they can seek protection in blue states, California, Illinois, New York. But they're trying to redistrict, and it's the main reason that California is like, all right, fine. We will play fire with fire. Gavin Newsom, I mean, the press office has done an amazing job with
Great tweets.
Yeah,
Good
great
job.
tweets. I mean, even today of filming this, he held a press conference which was announcing this, and he was warning Trump. He's like, President Trump has until this day to stop, because it was under his orders. He talked to Greg Abbott. They had a conversation. He said, we want to take these 5 seats because that would give us control over governing laws. That would allow us to have influence. I mean, you look at the maps, and you also have to think of like, if you really believe in like democracy and equal rights and putting the voice of the people as the top priority, why do representatives or lawmakers or governors, whoever, have to redraw tiny little slivers around in weird shapes to make sure that their district is represented to be not blue and all red, right? Even though it's like a sliver. I mean, you look at like Dan Crenshaw's district, and that thing looks like the eye patch on his face. It is insanely odd to look at this and say, oh, these people are fighters of democracy. They're fighting for freedom when they're trying to steal it from the actual citizens, constituents of those districts. And so California is like, fine, Texas, you want to take 5 seats? We'll take 5 seats. And I think it's I forget what they just made a video that announced it today that was like it's going on as something that you can vote on.
Yeah, in the election in
Yeah. So
November,
yes, if
we can vote to redistrict California.
there is
we want to vote yes.
Yes. And the fear is that, you know, when you've got the militarization, which we'll talk about, of DC, like you have to understand that the things that Donald Trump did with the National Guard in California and in other states and now in DC, which...
Is National Guard still here? Or they've off?
I believe there are very few left, but they are still here. I mean, again, a lot of them are bored. They're wasting time. They're like standing around the corners here and there.
Because we're not crazy rioters.
Right.
And they're...
But I think most of them have left now. I don't know the exact number. I believe that there still might be some that are like dispersed around. But when you look at what's happening in DC, that is another thing of like, this is all like he's testing out in different places. He wants to lock down DC. He wants it to be a castle so that he can protect himself if someone were to come in and take it away from him, you know, like Civil War, the movie. You have to think of like what this guy is doing. He's running experiments in different cities where he wants to test it out to say like, can I get away with this? What would it mean if I were to militarize, federalize these soldiers for my own selfish purposes so that I can stay here longer, I can take away your rights, I can remove a midterm general election? Like that's ultimately the goal, is because if they see what's happening right now, it's not very popular. You look at the polling, people are like, get out of DC, get out of California, stop doing this stuff. And as a result, they're like, well, again, it's just like when all of these ballot initiatives were around abortions. Everyone who brought it to the state level, like they wanted, said, no. We want the ability
to have an abortion.
We want it codified in our state constitution. And then they were like, okay, what we actually meant was nationalize. We want it on a federal level, which is the opposite of what they wanted before. And it just goes to show you that they are all about taking rights away from you, restricting access to certain things. And even though they say, states' rights, really what they mean is no rights. No rights at all. And that's what they're trying to do by taking 5 seats in Texas.
Okay, so get out to the polls and vote in November, everybody. Redistrict California, Republicans, not literally, mentally.
Next November.
Don't if I find out any of you are doing anything to a Republican that they might enjoy.
Well, maybe women can do like little mini
witchcraft. Oh, I'm getting fully
no.
Okay.
Like they put them under and then they do little vasectomy surgeries. Like maybe somebody online teaches little DIY vasectomy classes, masterclass, workshops. And then you take a guy home, you maybe give him a little extra something. He, takes him out, tryptophan or whatever. And then you like do a little procedure and you're like, done.
See, unlike the Republicans who are totally okay sterilizing Latino women that are being held in these prisons, we probably won't do that. But it is a fun thought.
Yeah, who's to say you couldn't
take away your choice,
knock them out like Dexter, and then cut things.
Yeah, we need more female Dexters.
I'm very close. I have a very big digital footprint, though, so unfortunately, it's not looking good for me. It's not going to work.
Donald Trump basically said, "I have the right to take over DC because DC is a crime-ridden city."
Yeah, I'm like confused by that. The capital of the nation is a crime-ridden city,
which is like, it's a whole thing. So
there's a bunch of pedophiles there.
Yeah, I mean, if you do think about it, it is crime filled.
Oh, that's why they're going after the kids.
Yeah. Right. They're like, protect the kids for ourselves.
Protect the kids. We don't want them getting too far.
Yeah.
All of that was happening in LA. I was like, this is him testing what he can get away with in other blue states. And that's exactly what it is. He's doing it in DC right now.
Very proud of all blue states for
even the press. They asked him the other day, they said, what happens, I forget if it's 3 or 6 months, basically he can act independently of Congress. And they said, what's going to happen when your temporary use of these military, agents, the military expires? And he goes, well, there's a way. They basically were like, there's a way around that. Again, Project 2025, you go through, it talks about all these different things. And one of the things that they're trying to test right now is, well, if we state that there's an emergency at play, then we actually have control over this, and Congress can't stop me.
This is so Handmaid's Tale coded. Like,
Yeah.
this is
Oh,
all.
yeah.
I've literally just. I can't watch it. I don't want to watch
me
it.
neither.
But, oh my God.
So you look at this, and you have to understand what Donald Trump and his regime are trying to do is they are trying to create a police state. The only way that you stop crime is by having police marching through the streets. And there's even videos I saw recently where there are some people that were walking, and they stopped people who were on their property on a stoop, and they were smoking cigarettes. And these guys were like, hey, what are you guys doing over here? Let me see your ID.
I have a really hard time believing that all of these people and high-ranking officials that had to get a formal like, do they actually, when are they going to stand up? Like, I'm very confused by the lack
their
of.
entire thing is so weird to me.
It's so bizarre. And I'm also wondering, because, like, obviously we have the privilege of, listening to other people's experiences and likely being educated. And for some reason, like, I don't know what it's going to take for the red states, like the people that truly voted for him, to, like, be affected. Because it's happening.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what it's going to take.
I don't know. I mean, like, you look at what's going on with Epstein, right? Like, it's still, everyone should be asking, where are the Epstein files?
They are.
But you've got MAGA who is still asking the questions, but then you also have MAGA who's like, guys, he said he wasn't involved, and this is all a hoax, and it was created by Comey, Obama, and Biden, and we should be asking the real questions like, what about the crime in D.C.? And
It's
you're
totally
like,
a
what?
distraction tactic. It's insanity. It's just like...
Meeting with Putin, doing this federalization of military in D.C., trying to occupy it. These are all things that he's trying to cover up for something that he promised he would declassify, even though we knew he wouldn't. And that Pam Bondi said she had mountains of evidence, tons of evidence, so many different people that were on the list on her desk, and she was disgusted and grossed out by it. Same thing with Kash Patel.
So do something.
Right, but they won't do it because their boss is in the
Big
files.
Daddy President Trump, sir. This one is on the Sinister Affirmations deck, which you can hopefully order soon. It says, love these. Excellent quality, beautiful storage box, fast service. And if you don't know, the Sinister Affirmations are like, fun things to say in the morning. Like, today I'm going to wake up, be evil, and do crime, instead of today I'm going to wake up and be beautiful. So you can order those soon at boardwalk.com. I would highly recommend it for these dark, trying times. Give yourself something to look forward to and something else to say and think about. Okay. And the question, comment we're responding to is, I don't know what video this was on. It's you, everything about women these days.
Oh, there was some man being like, oh, blah, 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 nobody cares about men's rights. We kill ourselves, blah, 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 blah.
And your video was a response to, like, you guys can take care of each other.
Yeah, and basically, like, men's rights are the default. And also, these men, they come into our comments. You go into, not even ours, just women's comments, and you're like, oh, what about men's rights? I don't know. How about you start fighting for them then? You're super concerned about men's suicide rates. Start fighting for men's mental health.
No.
Or is the only time you talk about it when you see a woman speak about her issues? Like,
I'm also gonna say, just as a man, I don't know what rights have been taken away from us.
Yeah, you guys are fine.
Yeah. Like, I if there are any rights that have been taken away, there are self-inflicted rights that have been taken away,
Yeah,
where
I
you're
was
like,
gonna say,
oh, no.
it's like, oh, who's in power?
Yeah.
If your rights are being taken away, who the f***'s doing it, sir?
Yeah, who set that system up? Anyway, so the comment on the video is from Derek Manning. He's so man, he has to have 2 N's in his last name. What a giant size red flag. Misandry is just out of control these days. Clearly not, because you still have typing and speaking privileges. If it were out of control, you would not have a tongue. Stay well clear of me, sister. Well, brother, since we won't venture into your mother's basement, there's a very high possibility you'll never come across us. Except for when you're interacting with our content, which means you're going to see it more, you dumb.
They're just, I don't know, angry, sad, stupid.
Well, I mean,
Maybe it's stupid. Do you have or is it slow? Man-Child by Sabrina Carpenter. Stream on all platforms so you can find music, everybody.
There is
but it also does show you how sad and pathetic that these guys' lives are. Like, dude, you could be so productive doing something else.
You could literally do anything else.
You could be like, hey, go learn a new language, because just
you could be fighting for men's mental health.
These are the same people who actually think DEI is the reason their lives aren't progressing, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, they constantly stand in their own way, and then they're like, God damn it, why is this wall me-shaped? And it's like, it's her fault! Which? Send them to jail. Send them. Do you know in Reno? I guess in Nevada, they're allegedly Coyote Compound as the complimentary to Alligator Alcatraz.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, I know those Reno streets and I know those Reno mountains a little better than you do, mother. Going into the bow and arrow. So we're gonna have fun.
Nice.
I'm gonna train those coyotes.
Yeah.
They all just want scratches. Okay, shall we move on to your deck?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's do it. We're moving on from all of the talking things, and we're gonna use some of our what
written
is the
things.
Word? What is the word for product? We're gonna use some of our products to influence you guys to buy them because they're really good. This is the venting deck. It's good if you have feelings.
This is the venting deck, and we're going with a light vent. I don't think we've done this on this version of the podcast or done it recently. What is your least favorite home decor trend?
Like clean girl minimalist aesthetic.
Yeah. Clean girl aesthetic. That okay.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like so you walk into a girl's room and there is a plain white queen bed with only 2 white pillows on it and a light gray throw blanket at the edge of the bed. And then there is a dress, like a little rack, and all the clothes are evenly spaced and they're all color coded. And then you don't see any
And
of
they're
the
probably like white as well.
yeah, also white and beige.
This sounds like someone who has OCD.
So
It's not even it's a aesthetic.
You know what aesthetic I don't like?
What?
The new Oval Office. It is goddamn
Is that-
so gold. It's
Oh,
gold
well, it's not
everything.
surprising.
Gold, like you look over from the point at which Biden left to Trump, and ABC just did a thing like over the last few months how it's changed, and they're like, at first it started with some gold, like it started with some gold articles on the fireplace. Then it was some gold frame paintings. Then it was gold accents on the fireplace. Then it was gold trim. Then it was gold, more paintings. And then a lot of people were like, there's a weird also similarity between this gold fireplace to Jeffrey Epstein's gold fireplace. People were like, that's kind of weird. So basically, I don't like this gold trend that's going on, but also maybe it's because it lines with like pedophiles. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's a
Alright.
good calling card.
Minimalism is fine for me, but like have some color, have some personality there, like have like if whatever your version of
Yeah.
minimalism is fine, but like super minimalist, I'm like, what's happening here? Are we in a museum? What's going on?
Okay, this is our original deck. What first made you realize you were getting old? At summer camp, I said to one of our kids, I was like, yeah, and One Direction song, and she was like, who the heck is that? I was like,
You're like, okay.
She only knows
Alright.
him as Harry Styles, and that's it.
yeah, but they know the Backstreet Boys song, like, I want it that
Yeah,
way,
but that
so
shows you
so
One Direction
interesting.
wasn't that like they were a band that was formed by Simon Cowell. They're not like
I
Yeah.
mean, they were like a very specific, but I would argue that Backstreet Boys similarly.
But I think
is
Backstreet
kind
Boys
of like-
also covered different generations.
I mean, they're also at the Sphere. I'm seeing them this weekend.
oh,
Gen Z today, like, romanticizing summer 2016. And, like, listen, I lived it. I get it. Crazy that less than 10 years later, and that's like,
what the hell
What
happened in
happened in
summer
summer
2016?
what happened in 20 Summer 6? Well, I'll tell you. Jordan Belfort was dropped. Everyone was out. House parties every single weekend. It was cool to be creative. You could go to the mall with your friends. You could like walk around. This was before Amazon took over and Jeff Bezos owned our assholes. But you could like walk around and like you're flirting with people. You do a lap around the mall. You do another lap around the mall. It was never
It was just
ending summer.
It
It was pre AI. It was pre.
It was the final bit of Obama.
It was
And
the
I
final bit of
literally
Obama.
think this
Yeah.
because like even like schooling wise, outfit wise, belief wise, like everything after that has been so drastically different than what I was used to.
Dude,
that, like,
when did
Gen Z
Harambe die? When in
2016.
Yeah. That's when the timeline shifted and we found ourselves in this.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and it
I mean,
So anyway,
I guess
yeah.
I probably had a great time in summer 2016.
I mean, 2016 we were in
Great
SF.
time. Yeah, it was
we were
probably
improvising,
I was
hanging out, drinking,
doing
all
I
sorts of
was probably
stuff.
up in the club.
Yeah.
I was in Reno, so it was just like house parties, and like it was just a vibe. It was just the vibe. You're going out to the lake, you're walking around with your friends, you're running into people at night. Like it's just fun.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
fun. Smoking weed at public parks and running from the cops.
That is something though that does make me really side note make me think of something, which is like when I was a kid would be like, hey, don't grow up too fast, like don't like just like sit in this. But as a kid you're like,
How can you understand something that big?
right. But then years later, right, like 20 years later, you're thinking like, damn, they were right, they knew it. But it's like as a kid you don't want to listen, you're like, I just want to be an adult, I don't want you to think of me as a little kid. And then retrospectively you're like, man, maybe I could have enjoyed more, or maybe like sat in something more.
The lack of responsibility. Let myself grow a little more.
Yeah,
be a
you
little
know.
Stupider. So anyway, that's
Make
what
more
makes us feel
mistakes.
old. Is that that's what makes us all feel old. Is that we actually relate to those adults that were being like, just take it.
Yeah,
slow.
I think there is. Yeah, as you get older and like things that people told you, and then
Now
you're
worry
like,
about home repair.
They were right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
You're like, yeah, they were right.
Now you find me at a Home Depot and I'm shopping for power drills, you know? It's like,
I do
Never be
think
me.
also like all of the things that in my like especially early 20s where I was like, that's a problem for future me to deal with, and then now I'm like future me and I'm like, that stupid that I'm like,
loans.
you really had high hopes for us, girl, because you fucked us over.
She's like, I don't know how
and
to deal with
that's
that problem
fine.
yet.
yeah.
That's fine. You know, you're having fun, I guess.
So we're old.
Yeah. All right. So I've got the Delve Deck Joy Edition. Leave it on a happy note here. What is your favorite smell?
I like, the paint. I think that there's one with weird smell that I would be like, oh, spray paint. We spray painted this, and I've
or
been sitting
gasoline?
next to it being like,
Are you into gasoline? No? Okay. Okay.
my
You're not huffing it,
favorite,
whatever.
like actual smell, I like vanilla. I think I like a vanilla candle. I like baked goods kind of smells. Is my preference in terms of like if I was gonna do a candle or scent. But I also like vanilla like on myself. So I think
That's
vanilla.
fair. I love like amber scents, like pink pepper and amber when they're. I don't know what pink pepper smells like. Okay, those are just always the scent notes on the things that I get. And I'm a big like floral, spicy, warm spring.
Love that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I'm a, I was thinking of like, what in like foods or something, right? And then I was thinking, pizza was one, like a pepperoni pizza, but I was also thinking like cinnamon rolls, but not like a Yankee Candle, like this is cinnamon, roll
Like a fresh
smell,
cinnamon
but like
roll,
a
okay.
fresh baked cinnamon roll. I'm like, oh yes, that's it right there. If you want a place in my heart, that's it.
Cinnabon hates to see this guy coming.
They're like, oh no, lock it down.
They're like, please close all vents. Gabe's outside, like,
The gate's closing. I'm like, I'm gonna get in there.
just let me get a whip. I just need a whip. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. If you want to take part in playing some of these fun games with first dates, teachers, people you don't know very well that you're like, this could be less awkward, you can order these at boredwalk.com. There's 3 different decks to choose from.
Yeah.
But until then, we'll see you guys next week. We love you so much. Thanks for hanging out with us. Okay. Goodbye, y'all.
Bye.